Hello everyone and welcome back to Insurmountable, here where we're going after kind of our third side mission for the second kind of major mountain here, and that should hopefully allow us to get into mission 3, potentially the kind of end, but I'm not entirely sure. This might just be the first of many mountains we shall have to see. But we're going to scale the summit, we're going to reach the goal. Mountain with expensive terrain, it's a large area of the mountain, it's located in the death zone. This is a 4-star difficulty, so this could be interesting to try to deal with. Normal weather, but very rough terrain. But a good amount of rewards, especially when we finish it with the scientist. So we're going to change to the scientist, as I think that'll be the best option. Terrain is very challenging, so all energy cost is up, and so is all time. So honestly, I'll probably stick with the climbing gloves to try offset that as best possible. And we'll go with our standard setup of a tent, an oxygen bottle, and 2 bits of food. Of course, we've got 10 more space. I will take a tea with me as well. That's interesting that these flare pistols you can now use to call for help or call for a trader, but I think we'll take the hot tea just in case we have any issues with body temperature. As you know, body temperature has become a little bit more of a problem in these last couple of missions, so having the ability to kind of do that might be the best. Now this is a bit more of an expansive area. Oh goodness me, yeah. This is a lot further away. Should I say that? It's probably not as far as I think. Makes sense. It's a long way to get there. We probably don't need to be quite so ambitious. We'll start off here. I don't think we particularly need the shrine, but it's useful to have the potential. I don't think we get experience for it, but we at least get a bit of energy back. I'm going to use my ingenuity to create my own equipment. This is something the scientist is good at. I think about what I need most right now. Honestly, I'll take something energy based. I build a climbing rope, a climbing axe. I'll build a climbing axe, I think. That's useful. So 10% energy cost from climbing. That's wonderful. That's only got a 30-hour delay, so that tinker is pretty good. I'm not sure I want to do the sanity, but I'll give it a test just to see. Mad genius. There's no stopping you. You focus your willpower on body temperature, speed. Interesting. So I can give myself kind of these traits. That's very interesting. I'll do energy, and we'll just start pushing forward as quickly as we can, really. I can spend some time to gain some experience. That might be a good thing to do in the kind of night time, potentially. For now, though, let's just start moving. Get ourselves moving there as quickly as possible. This is a large, expansive map. We need to not wait around forever, because otherwise we're never going to get to our destination. There's actually a cave here, which is wonderful. Means we don't need to. Means we can just stay in the cave overnight and not have to focus on other such things. I will follow the noise, however, just to see if there's anything useful. I will keep going to a little cost of sanity, but I might find something. I'm not sure if I'm lucky. Okay, I fall to the ground relieved, but I found myself an oxygen bottle. But it seems like I had a little bit of an injury there. That's not too bad. For now, though, we'll just sleep for a long time, and then that should hopefully allow us to keep pushing. We'll be pushing a little bit in the night time, but that's not too bad. Honestly, Tinker seems like a really good thing. I wonder if there's like a added negative effect for every single time you use it from kind of the first time. Because otherwise, I just keep doing that as soon as possible, really. But we'll have to see. I'm not entirely sure how it works just yet. There's a lot of terrain here which could prove troublesome, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll manage. I'm just coming to see what's down here. Ooh, spiders. The branches of a nearby bush are completely covered in spiders' webs. Let's reach into the hole. We need to be a little bit careful of our sanity. But I guess there's some experience, and experience is useful. We do need it. I'm just going to climb back up to here so I can actually see things a little bit better, because the camera does kind of focus on what you can see as a character. I hope I'm going the right way. It's a little hard to tell. And can we actually make it up there? Not sure we can. So let's... Oh, we're in a little bit of a tough spot here, it seems. We'll go up to here, but the problem is I'm not sure we can go any further, so let's pause there. The summit is somewhere up there, I'd say. So it's not the easiest to be able to tell, though. I can go that way, and I think I will do. Because I'm not sure I want to go all the way around in the other direction. I think that would take too long. I do definitely need to keep an eye on my sanity, though, because that's ticking down a lot faster than I would like, I think, to be honest. I hope we're going the right way. I'm hoping we haven't got kind of accidentally turned around. That easily could have happened, however. We are already low on energy. Goodness me. It was not kidding around when they said that this was a tough mission. Okay, let's climb up. This will require a lot of energy to do so, but there's a shrine and a cave here. Both of which will probably be saviours for us, to be honest. And I can actually do that. Let's pause again. I'm just going to do my Tinkerer. And I want to focus on... Sadly, I can't focus on sanity, but I'm about to go into the death zone, so I'll do oxygen. I've got an oxygen bottle, and that lowers my temperature a bit, but that's okay. We don't really have the energy for more. I perhaps don't need a third oxygen bottle, but I'm not going to say no. Okay, let's pop in here so we find shooting stars. I'm going to make a wish for sanity over energy, because I'm about to go to sleep, so the energy shouldn't be an issue. I'm going to just find a quiet corner and lie down to rest, because last time I tried to wake the stranger, he didn't really appreciate me doing so, so I don't think we want to do so again. Although, you know, there's no guarantee that the event would turn out the same way twice. Okay, we are at least heading in the right direction, but it still seems like we've got a long way to go. And there's only so much terrain we can climb. The air's getting thin. I'm going to actually mend my wounds, not because I've had any wounds, but because it will give us the sanity back, and we're kind of as with the scientists, sanity seems to go down fairly significantly, and I don't want to have any more issues with that if I can really help it. Especially as we've got a big climb ahead of us, as I can see. How are we doing? Still a long way to go, that's for sure. There's a shrine down there, which might be worth going to just to potentially get our energy back. We'll give that a go. And there's a cave there we might be able to sleep in, but I'm not sure that's the route that we want to take. The problem is that's such a large climbing kind of way to go that I'm really not sure that's the best way to go at all. I'm going to turn around and take a detour, because detours are safe. And we have very little energy. I'm really hoping to get some energy from this shrine here. She offers me health or warmth. That's completely useless in both aspects. Thank you, old lady. So I'm going to have to use a canned food here already, which I'm not thrilled by. I'll spend 3 sanity to get a random buff of my choice. I'm going to again focus on energy, I think. Because if we've got a big climb ahead of us, having less energy costs would be useful. I do need to be careful not to use that sanity thing too often, otherwise I might end up regretting it. But I will keep tinkering as soon as I possibly can all the time, because the tinkering seems to be pretty useful. But we'll head here, see what we find. If nothing else, this will give us some more experience. And in front of you see the outlines of monoliths. I'm going to stay and see what I find out. I discovered some equipment, excellent. Some new boots. Body temperature when moving, excellent. and a level up, which is sorely needed. Controlled breathing. We seem to be doing okay on oxygen, but I'm not sure about warm thoughts, so we'll take controlled breathing. Can't say no to having some additional oxygen capabilities, that's for sure. Now, somewhere up here there's a cave, I just can't quite remember where. Somewhere in this direction, I know. Ah, there it is. I was heading to it without realising it, but we'll go in here, we'll sleep, we'll get our energy back. Question is, do we sleep for a short time or a long time? I think we'll sleep for a long time. We've got the ability to get our oxygen back should we need to do so. But honestly, this Tinkerer thing is really useful. I'm just going to keep using it over and over again, I think. I'm going to focus on something body temperature related, I think. Build a vacuum flask full of tea, warm gloves. Things I think I've already got some gloves, that's the problem. So I'm just going to take some tea for the time being. And next time I might craft myself some food or something like that, I wonder. Now we're having to travel during the night, which I'm not overly thrilled by, especially as the route around here is utterly dreadful. Do we maybe go back the way we came? Try that route instead? That might be the better option, because I think that route is just too windy and long. Now this is a tall route, it's a very steep route, it's going to have some issues. But given how expansive this place is, I think the best thing we can do is just push to the extraction point as quickly as possible. Or at least push to the summit and then work from there. Is there a cave nearby that we can utilise? Not sure. The problem is there's a lot of up and downs, which is not very useful at all. There's a cave right there, but I'll be pushing in. I'll be pushing in with some bad effects. Temporary buff gets me. Problem is they're just effects. It doesn't help me completely. Does that get me closer to the cave? Not really. No. Could do. Okay, I think we're gonna have to sleep here. I don't think we have a choice. Which is a shame because again we're just gonna be. Our body clock's just gonna be completely out of sync with what we need it to be. Actually, it's not too terrible. It should just turn daytime, so it could be worse. That's for sure. But I do think next time I tinker, I'll be tinkering for some food. But that's such a strong thing that I don't see any reason why you would never do it, to be honest. Okay, you see the outline of a large rectangular object concealed beneath an old parachute. You gingerly lift the stained, tattered fabric to find a metal case. You're in luck. The case contains provisions. Red flare pistol means we can call for help. That's a one-time use, I imagine, though. So let's use it for emergencies, I would say. What's the best way for us to get over here? Well, let's follow this. We'll follow this path as best we can. Is there some safer terrain we can take? Yes, there is. I think the safer terrain is almost certainly the better choice. I don't think we need to stop in that cave. We probably will stop in this cave here, though. Just to get our energy back, and it's not going to be perfect timing, but I think we can make it work nonetheless. Maybe we can come do the events during the daytime, and then we can push to the cave. Unfortunately, we've discovered the remains of a mountaineer. His skin is grey and cold. I'm not going to search him, that feels wrong. But let's pop up and see what we get from this shrine. I'll probably take sanity. Okay, well, I'll take, between warmth and energy, I'll take the energy, of course. We'll push here, and then we'll probably, because there'll probably be a time jump in this event. So then we can pop back and pop back to the relative safety of the cave. It means we'll be travelling a little bit during the night, but it's almost certainly the best option for us to do, and it means that we don't have to use the tent. Because I imagine we're going to have to imagine we're going to have to find our way out as well, or find our way back to a new place, which is not good. Fear stabs our heart. You cannot stand the darkness any longer. I want to return to the light. Okay, that wasn't successful. But we do get a level up. I'm going to lie down and sleep first. Sleep for a long time. See if we can pass as much of the night as possible. Our oxygen is getting low, but we do have some oxygen tanks. Level up. Let's see what we get. These are all temporary effects. So I'm going to take Preserve Energy just to kind of help with our energy. We don't have a lot of skills this time, which is a potential problem. I'm going to use one of my oxygen bottles just to bring some oxygen back. And I'm going to tinker. What do I want to tinker for? I'm just going to tinker for some energy and build myself... I could do that, but that's expensive. Build myself a climbing rope. You know what? Let's leave it. What about something to do with... Let's maybe take another body temperature item. Nah. I think I have to choose something. So let's take another oxygen bottle because we are... Oh, actually, let's take the oxygen mask. That will help on a more permanent basis. I think that's the better option. There's a cave there, which we may or may not actually use in the long run. Let's just pause here now that it's daytime. We can kind of see where we're going a little bit better. We can spend a bit of time to get some experience, which we might need to do because we don't have that many skills at the moment. Let's push to here because that's another item, another event for us. So that's a big cost of energy. And then actually we can probably go back down the mountain to that cave. In fact, we'll probably start... Oh, there's multiple caves. That's good. Can we hit to the cave? Yes, we can. Okay, we're actually going to sleep in this cave and travel through the night. It's not perfect, but I think it's the better option. You're walking through powdered snow when suddenly your feet slip out from underneath you. A layer of smooth ice has formed beneath the snow, making walking almost impossible. That's a lot of body temperature loss. Just in case, I'm going to have myself a hot tea, and that should help us solve that issue. And I can always make myself some more hot tea with Tinkerer. For now, though, we're just going to lie down and sleep. It does mean we're going to be travelling at night time, which isn't going to help our body temperature, again, but I just think it's the best option we have, to be honest. And now we carry on our climb. We're not too far off the summit, but that's not going to be the end, I don't think. Nearby, there's an abandoned camp, and there's a torn tent there. You could take the time to search the intact tents. Let's thoroughly search. We'll thoroughly search because that puts us nearly at the daytime again. We found a warm cap, but I'm guessing we can't. Yeah, we have to switch those over. For now, I'll actually put the warm cap on with high quality because that gets my body temperature back, which arguably is the more pressing concern at the moment. Okay, we'll push up to here and see what we find in this part of the world. If anything, of use, but there may or may not be. We find a limestone cave, and does that give us anything useful? That gives us probably just some experience, but it's not a bad thing. It also gives us some sanity, which is not bad at all. Reduce energy cost in the death zone, that feels like a useful thing to have, especially as we're very high in the death zone. We'll push to that cave, although I wonder if we can avoid the cave. Because then we can push to the summit, and we can leave the cave descending from the summit, which I think we're going to need to do. Although I might be wrong. But we'll leave that cave just as a precaution. We're so nearly at the top. Question is, am I going to be able to make it to the top? No, I'm not. Bugger. Can I make it back down to the cave? Yes, I can. So we'll make it back down to the cave, and then we will sleep, try to get our energy back, hopefully some body temperature as well. I'm not going to follow the smell, I'm just going to lie down and sleep for as long as possible. I guess that's a little bit of body temperature and a little bit of energy. Excellent. Okay, now we should be able to ascend to the top without issue, I hope. But I strongly suspect that may not be the end. We may have somewhere yet to push to. We've certainly come a very, very long way. Actually, there doesn't seem to be a huge amount around here, so this might be the end. You made it, your face is warm with effort, but your hard work was not in vain. The experiences you had and the information you gathered about the mountain is bringing you step by step closer to your goal. But of course, you have to make it to your destination. That's a long way away, goodness me. Okay, I'm going to just tinker while I'm up here. I'd like to tinker for energy, but it doesn't actually allow me to make food, which I suppose makes sense. You can't just like create food out of nothing. So I'm actually going to go for body temperature. And I'll take a vacuum class filled with tea, because I can always use that straight away. And that actually helps my sanity as well. The thing I'm concerned about at the moment is energy. We don't seem to have a huge amount of it. I don't quite have enough to push down there. Thing is that a shrine? Because I could try and move 2 tiles, but I'll be pushing it. Or I can try sleep. Do I take the risk and push to the shrine? Because the shrine could give me what I need. I'm going to take the chance. I might regret it. Oh boy. I think we might have got away with it. I think we were lucky enough to get away with it. Hopefully the shrine gives me energy. Oxygen or energy? Only 30. It's not great. Okay, we just need to start going now pretty quickly. So let's go here. Yeah, definitely our energy is becoming a problem. So I'm just going to stop here and sleep for as long as possible to get as much energy back as possible. We are losing more oxygen, but we have oxygen bottles, and we are also descending. So if I go here, I've got quite a few spare oxygen bottles, that's okay. And remember, I do also have that red flare pistol as well, should the need arise, which I'm sure it almost certainly will. But for now, let's keep pushing towards our exfil point. That's the best thing we can really do, is get ourselves out of here as quickly as possible. Definitely a tougher mission though, this kind of with the 4 stars. And there's a cave here actually, so I will be stopping and sleeping again. It gives us energy back, and in general it's just very useful. I'm not going to disturb the sleeper. I just want to get myself rested up. Okay, our stats are looking a little bit better. We took the risk of the summit and it paid off, thankfully. But it may not always pay off. I've got to be wary of doing that. I really shouldn't push on when my energy is down to 0. That's a really wasn't a great decision of mine. But I think we'll be okay, regardless. And we are making progress, but it still seems ever so far away. You approach the canyon, notice the rope has been stretched across it. Who could have done that? And can you risk using it? I'm going to turn around and take a detour. If the rope snapped, I would never survive the fall. It's just the better option. Okay, let's go here. We'll pick up whatever this is. If nothing else, will be some experience, although it is a little bit of climbing. So maybe once it turns daytime, we will see if we want to do that, or if we just want to keep pushing. We may just want to keep pushing, to be honest. I think that's actually the better option, rather than climbing up that rather steep bit of terrain, which will take out a lot of energy from us. So I think this is the much better option. And then I can see our beacon. We are getting closer, but still a long way yet. Let's just pause where we are. We kind of worked our way into a little bit of a tight spot here. What we can really do is climb, which is not ideal. We can go down, but that doesn't help us either, so we're going to have to use our last tent, which I'm not thrilled by. We're definitely having some issues with energy now. I could craft, but I don't know if that's the right thing to do. What I will, however, do is get myself a mad genius and focus on energy, save as much energy as possible, and just purely push for extraction at this point. And I think we will actually climb up now that we've got our energy back, because it's just the quickest route to get to getting out of here. We are managing, but blimey, this might be a close one. I will check this chest though, because it's not very far away. You reach an expensive plateau. Expansive, not expensive. A thick fog bank hangs over a depression in the rock. You stare into the grey mass for a while, wondering if it's concealing something. You find it odd that the fog doesn't seem to be dissipating or spreading at all. I'll have a quick look around the edge. I found some provisions. Please give me some food. No, I didn't. That event's a little bit weird because it says it gives you provisions and then it doesn't. You encounter a slope with rubble. We'll try to find a different path, arguably a safer path, because rubble just is a real potential for things going badly wrong, and we don't want that to happen, that's for sure. Okay. We're making good progress, but we could definitely do with getting out of here. I think we've used all our tents. We could definitely do with another one. For now, though, let's push to here and then see how far it is. Oh, it's still so far away. Still so far away. There's a cave there, but I really doubt we'll be able to make it that far. Can I at least make it to... I can make it to this item. And I might get a tent there if I'm lucky. I'm also just going to pause again. And I'm basically just going to keep on re-rolling this to get me that little bit more energy saving. It'll be enough, but it's going to get us closer. I found a fairy light. I'm going to approach it carefully. Please give me something useful. You see a meandering mountaineer. He seems tense and appears to have lost his way. You aren't sure whether or not you should have to help him. I'll offer to help and see what he says. Confused, the stranger stares at you for a moment, examining you from head to toe. Despite his initial skepticism, he is thankful for your help and shares his provisions with you. Get a climbing rope. Ignores dangerous terrain for a limited time. That's pretty useful. We're not going to be able to make it to that cave. If I sleep out now, sleep briefly, that should give me enough to keep going. And I will, of course, use another oxygen bottle, as oxygen is really getting rather low here in the death zone. We do even have... Oh, we should... I don't think we need the warm cap on at the moment. Let's put this back on, because we're down to our last oxygen bottle for now. But I should probably buy us some time. For now, though, let's push to the cave, and then we need to push on our way out of here. I think we're going to have to do some sleeping out in the open, which I'm not thrilled by. But I don't see another option, really. You know, we're pushing ourselves to the mad scientist is pushing himself to the brink. You know, at what cost is he going to make it there? We'll sleep for a long time, get as much of the energy back as we can, and then we'll keep pushing towards our final destination. I do wonder if there's more than one page of mountains. Like, so far we found, 3 mountains? But that could easily become more as time goes on. Let's push down to here. There's another event. We can see what we might find there. Pretty much events will be our kind of best hope to get things done, I think. Anyone home? You catch a scent on the wind, burning wood. You follow your nose and find some rocky peaks. You discover a patch dingy looking tent. You next to the tent, the glowing embers of the campfire emit a thin plume of smoke. I'm going to call out in case the owner's nearby. You call out, no response. Although suddenly you hear heavy breathing. A local mountaineer with a dead mountain hare slung over his shoulder makes his way towards you. He gives you a friendly nod. Without a word, he stokes the campfire and skins the hare. In no time, the meat is roasting nicely on a split over the fire, giving off a mouth-watering aroma. The stranger gestures for you to join him. You gratefully accept his offer. You could use some refreshments right about now. Excellent, that gives us some energy and also a level up. Significantly increased oxygen gain for some time, but increased sanity loss to the end of the mission. We'll do one more push, just to get our oxygen back. But I need to keep an eye on my sanity, that's for sure. Right, let's... Actually, we're about to head out of the death zone. That was probably a terrible idea. But that's okay. It's only a 2-day effect, actually. I should be a little bit more careful. From here, where's our exit point? Just there, okay. Problem is, our energy is just causing more problems. So I'm going to keep on doing this. I don't think the Tinkerer is going to be the best thing for me to do, but I will get myself... I think we'll be okay for oxygen. So I'll get something body temperature just in case. Vacuum flask filled with tea. Passes quite a bit of time, but that's okay. Are there any caves nearby? There don't seem to be. The Tinkerer thing is really good. It allows you to get some equipment pretty much straight away after you first start. It's just a little bit concerning how things might end up going. I'm going to sleep for a long time. That's going to absolutely knacker my body temperature and the sanity. But we do have some flasks of tea, and I think we do have some moon herbs should we need them. But it's definitely time for us to push to the exit as soon as possible. Because that's a lot of climbing we've got to do. Maybe we can go round as opposed to going on top. That might be the better option, to be honest. There's a cave there we can spend the night in. So that works in our favour. In a deep pit, you discover the half-decayed carcass of a goat. I'm going to look around the edge of the pit, but I don't know if I want to go down, to be honest. We get ourselves an oxygen bottle. That's useful. We've got plenty of tea, so we'll use one, because that also gives us back a little bit of sanity as well, thanks to the perk we've got, where any consumable item gives us some sanity back as well, which is useful, because probably of all the item, I do use consumable items quite a bit, so it's definitely not a bad thing. Not a bad thing in the slightest. Okay, we'll stop when we're down here, and we will, even though we'll be sleeping during the daytime, I don't have many chances to sleep. But first, you pass a sheer wall with snow towering high on top of it. You're progressing carefully when you hear rumbling. Instinctively, you assume a crouching position and take a deep breath. With the blink of an eye, you feel the weight of snow putting you to the ground. I'm going to dig slowly, because I think that's the safer option, is to be calm. We've made it. A little bit of a loss of body temperature, but it's not too bad. And we can spend the night in the cave. Excellent. We'll lie down and sleep. Sleep for a long time means we'll be pushing during the night time. Not ideal, but it does actually get us some more experience in the long run, so it's really no bad thing that that's the case. Okay, let's start pushing towards that point. I need to get out of here. I can definitely feel that kind of running out of options here. I'm going to focus on energy and keep on pushing. Promise this is a lot of climbing. I'm also going to temporarily stop and use my safety rope here so I avoid dangerous events going through here. Just because I think we don't want to have any issues with these events kind of going wrong And especially as we're going to lose, I think, the majority of this inventory as soon as we go back, it makes sense to use it, and arguably I could probably be using it a little bit sooner. Can we make it to the summit? We can. Or make it to the extraction point for the summit, and hopefully this will be a successful mission, because blimey, this has been a tough one. Although we are just about managing. But goodness me, we could be in with some issues. You've reached your goal, your body feels weak, but your heart is jumping for joy. Looks like we made it. Goodness me, that was tough. But we made it, and that's the main thing. Okay, we've got a bunch of stuff here. We did quite a little bit at night time and in bad weather, so that's useful. And also we get a character award for doing this mission as the scientist. We're going to get any bonuses here? I think we'll get a little bit more for character proficiency. Maybe for environment proficiency as well. Some more skill points. Or grade points, I should say. So that's pretty good, all things considered. But first, I imagine the stranger is going to have something to say to us. The mysterious stranger leans over you as you slowly awaken. Her eyes are sparkling and a smile plays on her lips. Good news, I found out why the stone didn't affect the time loop, even though everything with radiation went according to my calculations. You have to picture the time loop like an umbrella. It spans the entire mountain range like an invisible shell. But the shell isn't the same everywhere. The farther we go from the original site of the disruption, the thinner the shell gets, and the easier it is for the radiation to penetrate it. You can probably imagine what that means, right? We need to get to the highest point in the mountain range. That's where we'll find the Achilles heel of the time loop. If we take the overheated stone to that weak point, cracks should form in the shell that will destabilize the entire time loop. I know I've asked a lot of you, but I'll need you to scale that final summit. That will be the last step. I'm sure of it. Okay. Explosive force. You need to bring your charged amulet to the highest peak of the mountains in order to destroy the time loop. This is a tier 5 mission. Even tier 4 we were struggling a little bit. There's very bad weather, very eerie surroundings and strange anomalies. And I can also choose to have very thin air, very heavy storms, or very heavy blizzards. That's not good. We might need to do a little bit of we might want to do another side mission or two. Yet we'll have to see. But I think we'll leave it there. I think we'll do the upgrades next time as well. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.